Am I significantly louder?
No, that was perfect. No notes.
This should be number 32. 500 cats.
For 500 cats. Man, is that 32 for both then?
I was just going to ask.
That's 32 for both.
Whoa.
All right.
All right. Let's go. Episode 32, 500 Cats, a podcast that we're still working on figuring out what it's about.
Yeah, someday we'll replace the placeholder name, but for now,
what's the placeholder name?
500 Cats.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think we said 500 episodes, so we're cruising.
We're getting close.
Episode 32. Quick math means there's 468 to go.
Yep.
468 to go.
Awesome. Well, basically almost there.
That's a lot of cats.
A lot of cats.
All right. Well, then let's get started. The last time we talked, we've been on a menagerie of events, event production, stuff like that. And then comes Thanksgiving week. Ryan and Melinda went and did the Louisville Turkey Trot. And it's to raise money for the Boulder County Food Share. So kudos to you guys that they went and volunteered, by the way.
That's the Louisville Turkey Trot.
Yeah.
By the way.
That's correct. And it's in Louisville, Colorado, not Louisville, Kentucky. And they shot video, and it's one of the things we do on Thanksgiving. And maybe, Ryan, does anything cool or not cool happen? I mean, I know last year, it's for a good cause.
Yeah.
I know last year when I woke up, I was like, why in the world did I say yes to this?
It was a great day.
Warmer than last year. Well, last year was sloppy.
Yeah, it was nasty. It was cold in the morning. Then once the sun came up, way overdressed. There was more people than last year. It's like 10,000 people.
It's a good event.
That's awesome.
And it's all donation based. There's no bibs. There's no medals. It's just come hang out, buy your ticket. It all goes to the community food share. Way more costumes this year, which was cool.
Nice.
Just people dressed up, not just in turkey stuff. There was a guy dressed like Great Gatsby. It was funny. He had like a cigar and a glass of whiskey and a suit.
Nice.
It was awesome. And then I heard last year, I think it was like $85,000 they raised, and they'd already surpassed that by the time the race started.
Nice.
Holy cow.
Once the last athlete went through, they were like, yeah, no, we're going to surpass that by a lot. And then the people at the community food share like came up and gave us a hug, and like they're so appreciative of what we do, and it's fun. It's just you're going around shooting video. Everyone's stoked. Everyone we asked, hey, can we do an interview? They're like, yeah, dude, what do you want to know? Like everyone is just drinking beer, hanging out. Thanksgiving morning, walk, run, whatever. No one's there trying hard, so it was fun.
Was there a lot of free beer like last year?
More.
Because last year I remember a multiple local breweries came out and was like, have at it.
Yes,
That's awesome.
STEM was there, Eastbound and Down. There was natural wine. They had a pizza truck, the coffee truck. There was a whole bunch. It was like last year, but more beer. And they had whiskey.
Did you see anybody that was like, move aside, I have my carbon-bladed shoes to try out today and set a PR?
No. I mean, they were in the front, but no one was like try-harding. There were some carbon shoes. There were some Ironman hats, some Ironman finisher shirts.
And I'm sure being in Boulder County, it was competitive. Like I'm sure whoever won with a borderline world class. I know last year that was the case.
There were some fast people, but again, they don't even time the event. Like it's cool. It's very much just participation based and come
do what you want to do and
just be active. Like movement's medicine. Let's just get out in the morning and move and celebrate Thanksgiving as a community, and
cool.
It's really cool. Yeah, I'd continue to go back if they'll have us again. I mean, it's easy, it's fun, it's a 5K. We were done by 10 a.m. I got a little bit of editing to do today, but make a cool video. And they said that the video we made last year, they used all year to promote this year, and then they raised more money, so it's great.
So they used it.
They used it.
That's amazing.
They posted it.
No, I saw it. I see lots of snippets and stuff from it. It's one of the ways they promote. But kudos to the Boulder County Food Share and the money they raised.
Yeah, well, I found out too, which is really interesting, is it's almost like for every dollar that they raise, how do I explain this? It's like $5 worth of food with the bulk that they buy. So $100,000 is like $500,000 in food for the community. The way that they are able to spend it, and with the deals and the bulk that they buy. So super proud to be part of that community.
Yeah, that community food share is really cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and so I give it the wrong name. It's called Community Food Share, not Boulder County Food Share.
Yeah, right.
So sorry about that. I don't have any idea what I'm talking about.
Because
There's probably a Boulder County, it may not be called Boulder County Food Share, but I'm sure they're doing great work too.
Yeah, and you guys weren't there because
we went to Qatar, and I know on our last episode we talked about our flight getting canceled. And if that was the worst thing that happened, it would have been a pretty good trip. But
that wasn't close to the worst.
That might have been the best thing that
Might have been the best thing that happened.
an extra day at home.
Yeah.
Kinda. Like, so, yeah kind of, maybe. Because I wasn't nervous about going to Qatar, but I had a weird feeling.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and you said that on the last episode. Yeah.
I did not have on my bingo card that it could have possibly went as bad as it did.
What happened?
Where do we start?
Well,
let's start with
first. Okay, so we mentioned the messed up flight, or not the messed up. We mentioned the canceled flight last time.
So did you actually get on your next flight that you were scheduled?
Yes, but it was messed up. So the person who helped us at the airport she made the correct change, but then didn't forward it on to Qatar. So Mel spent 2 hours unmessing it up on the phone with Qatar just to get us flights to Qatar the next day. And we still didn't know that if we had flights home, but we knew we had flights there. Couldn't get them in the app. Just had to go on faith.
Yeah,
we had good vibes.
We had to use paper boarding passes because, for whatever reason, because our flights were messed up. But that'll play a role later in everything that happened. Is that we realized, listen, if it's not in the app, you probably don't have a flight home. And then when you ask them, what about my flight home? And they say, you got to call or something. And so that was a bad sign. But we get on our American flight. Mm-hmm. We went out of the Seagate. When was the last time you guys were at the Seagate?
It's been years.
Yeah. C63 or something. And the American flight was pretty good, except on the flight, weird enough, the flight attendant comes up to me and says, I need you to get up out of your seat because we're putting somebody next to you, which I'd have never had happen. Big deal. So they put this guy next to me that looked like he was in distress. And something told me that he had an issue on the plane, and I couldn't wait to hear what it was because I was in the front, and Marcus, you were closer to the back.
I was in the back, yeah.
And we got comfortable with the back before the end of the week. Not comfortable. We got used to it. So then we land in Dallas, and we sit on the tarmac for an hour, and then we go to the gate. And I thought it was funny they let everybody stand up and crowd the exit, and then they said, I need everybody to take their seat again.
Yep.
And they're not telling you why, they're just sitting on the tarmac.
Well, no, they never told us while we're sitting on the tarmac. And then we get up to the gate, everyone stands up, and they're like, everyone sit back down, the police are coming on.
Hold on. So you were in like an aisle seat, and they're like, here, scooch over to the middle.
No, they said get up out of your seat so he could sit in the middle.
Oh, I understand.
And then this guy just looks over at me and says, yeah, that's me. And so I let him out, and he walks off the airplane, and a few minutes later we get off the airplane. And then after we got off the airplane, somebody else on the plane had said to me, oh, just one quick tidbit. I was up in the front. I got off the airplane. I've never waited 20 minutes for somebody in the back to get off, but it took Marcus an additional 20 minutes to get off an airplane that was 2 rows of 3. It was not a big
just
airplane.
A regular airplane.
Just a regular airplane.
737.
20 minutes.
20 minutes. I don't know how.
And you already
it took
spent
people
an
so long.
hour of people like they could have gotten their bags down and
Correct.
packed up. And
We weren't tight at this point, but tight enough. But later we found out this guy was smoking pot in the bathroom. Okay, couple things. I get it, against the law. I get it, police. But delaying the whole flight an hour and 15 minutes over somebody, and I think they said vaping in the bathroom. Like, throw the guy at the police, but...
And it's not like he was sounds like he was cooperating and be like, they caught me.
So I don't...
Was it going to be a flight risk or something?
No, my understanding was that because there was a guy that had talked to the flight attendants and got the whole story. And he said what happened was the guy who smoked weed, they caught him and they like brought him like a demerit, essentially like a piece of paper that was like, hey, you're, barred from
do not
whatever.
pass go. Please
Exactly.
proceed to jail.
And apparently he ripped it up in front of them. And so they were like,
Attaboy.
all right, escalation, baby.
Yeah.
And that's why cops were involved. Like apparently they were going to let it go, but he was a jerk. And so they decided no.
My question is, first of all, why are you smoking pot on the airplane? Second of all, how do you get caught? There was a dude next to me on my way home from Miami. And he was hitting his weed pen underneath his shirt and trying to like ghost hit it. It stank.
Yeah.
The whole plane smelled like weed. He's in his seat. He didn't even have to go to the bathroom. And no, you hear this guy get caught in the bathroom and say, well, come on, guys, just stop smoking weed on the airplane.
Just wait. It's
they
a
make
2-hour
edibles.
flight. That's exactly
Yeah, it's not
what it
like you were on the international flight yet.
Yeah,
You're just going to
exactly.
Dallas.
Yeah, and you're about to land.
Yeah.
So anyway, we finally get off the plane. DFW, if you haven't been there, is a little bit spread out. So we get on not the wrong train, but the train basically going the wrong way. So we go around the horn. We finally get to the gate. We go to our gate because remember, we don't have like tickets.
Yeah.
And we have a boarding pass, but we knew we had paid for upgraded seats. And we get there and it's 20 deep.
With one agent.
One agent, and everyone's opening an account. And so we decided we needed to get some food. So we went and like a bastion
right
in
place.
the light. There was an Applebee's on the international gate.
So you didn't stand in line.
So we didn't stand in line.
Didn't stand in line, went to Applebee's, and I mean, it's 10 p.m.
Because remember, we had paid for upgraded seats, so we just figured it would be sorted. That was a mistake.
Big mistake.
You mean Applebee's was a
opposite of
mistake?
Well,
Yes.
I mean, yes.
Not
because
waiting
of
in
what was
line.
about to happen, yes, Applebee's was a mistake.
So then we went back to get on our international flight, and we'll try to speed this along because
We haven't even gotten on the plane.
we haven't even gotten on the plane yet. We wait to get on the plane. First of all, one thing that really caught me as odd is there was 30 to 50 wheelchairs waiting to get on the plane.
It's the most I've ever seen, period. And it was wild. It was literally the entire gate area was full of wheelchairs waiting to get on the plane.
Yeesh.
Yeah, and it was like people waiting to get into a concert or a lift line that
Yeah.
was like Vail on Saturday at 10 a.m. And we finally get on the plane, and sure enough, I'm the shitter guard, and Marcus
And I'm
is the
assistant to the
assistant
shitter
shitter
guard.
guard. So he's in a row in front of me, and we are literally the plane. Everybody's seated, and our seats next to us are still open, and we're like, "This is going to be okay."
Yeah.
And then two people came and sat in those two seats. So we have people next to us. Big deal.
Yeah,
Like I
you
expected
expected
that.
it. Yeah.
And in short, we can go into a few details.
Was it a full flight?
Yeah, I'll bet
Yeah.
there was more people on that plane than there were seats.
It certainly felt like that.
And oh my gosh, I don't even know how to explain how bad that flight. First of all, I think the 7-hour flight to Kona is way too long. I'm about to lose my smack when we land in Kona, and this is exactly twice as long.
Yeah.
And I could just go on all day. It was awful. The back of the plane, first of all, is like a roller coaster. And first world problems. I haven't sat in the very back of a plane in years. And this one, it was like we were in the back of like a trailer.
Yeah.
Like it just bounced around.
It was a
and
cattle car. I mean,
it was crazy.
it was crazy. Everybody was packed in there. They had to use like sticks to get you in your seat. It was, and I know Dave has the exact same experience. Those dudes that showed up at the very last, I have never, I thought that we must have been engaged and I didn't know it because of how much he was touching me. Like I never have touched anybody that much on an airplane.
Was it a larger person or just like an entitled with space person?
Entitled with space.
Entitled with
man.
space next to me.
He's smaller
too.
than me, and his elbows were over the armrests into me, and I try to not, like, that's your armrest. You're in the middle seat, fair, but it was over. It was in my side, And like, I couldn't even like, if I would touch him back to try to get him to move back to his seat, nope, didn't matter. He was like, cool. Yeah. This is how we're living for the next 14 hours.
Oh man.
It was miserable.
Miserable.
And
hot.
And so the seatmates were awful.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of my seatmates was not awful, but was blind.
That's interesting.
And the first time they needed to go to the restroom, they rang the flight attendant's bell. And the flight attendant came up to me and essentially barked at me, "What do you need?" And I didn't know what he was talking about. He's like, "You pressed the thing." And it was in the seat back. I was like, I might have pressed it by accident, my bad. And then the blind person says, "I need to go to the restroom." And the flight attendant helped him. But after that, they didn't come back.
And did he ring the call button again and
Yeah.
they just turned it off?
Yeah.
Man.
So eventually,
Cold.
so eventually it became my issue. And I think if you know me, I'm not great at that stuff. But I also know when it's time just to man up and figure it out. So I had to take the blind guy to the bathroom like every couple hours. And how do you take a blind person to the bathroom? Like I know there's when I saw the stewardess do it, I could tell he had done it before, but I hadn't. So I kind of like just steered him by his shoulders. And remember, it was really bumpy.
Yeah.
So is this incorrectly that probably was. It was all I could see. So I did that like 5 times.
Good for you, though.
There was no other option.
Was he at least appreciative?
I'm sure he was, but like very little English.
Okay.
Nobody on the plane except the flight attendant spoke any English at all. Oh,
Yeah,
except the one guy that was there was one guy 2 rows over that did like a Teams call on speakerphone at 2 a.m.
Oh, the guy next to me took multiple phone calls and a FaceTime call.
And one good thing I will say about Qatar Airlines, they have incredible internet.
Yeah, if you can do video
my
calls,
gosh.
that's impressive.
It was awesome.
And everybody that did a video call, bless their hearts, did it on speakerphone.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no headphones.
Everybody had headphones. They hand out decent headphones.
Yeah.
But everybody did it on speakerphone.
So when you fly to Europe, I mean, like if you fly Lufthansa, it's a lot of German, but of course you hear like Spanish, Italian, English. You know, is it all just like Arabic, or was it kind of world languages?
There was a large, especially on the way there was a huge group of like Indian people. I assume it's because Qatar is pretty close to India. I assume that this was a stopover flight. If you're in the U.S. heading back home to India, you hit Qatar and then jump from there to India.
Yeah, sure.
That's what it seemed like, at least.
And we could talk for another hour about the flight. A little girl barfed on the floor right in front of Marcus.
Right next to me.
And then ran off.
Then I think that, and then ran off. And I got grilled
And then
about where she went.
The flight attendants were upset with Marcus.
Yeah, they're like, why didn't you stop her?
You're just like, I'm just trying to avoid the splash zone.
Yeah, I don't want to get puke on me. And I think I finally figured out why they ignored me. Because I was trying to flag a flight attendant down, like, "Hey, somebody puked. We need to clean this up."
What'd you press the button for?
Exactly, and I think it's because they assumed that it was Dave
pressing the button,
and now I'm like, because I made eye contact with the guy and I waved, and he just ignored me, and then he finally came over, and I was like, "Hey." This little girl puked here, and he's like, "Where'd she go?" I was like, "Well, she went that way. I mean, she finished what she needed to do, I guess, and left."
They seemed frustrated at you.
Yeah.
And they seemed like they didn't know where to start, and nor would I, where to start with this pile of puke. As they stood around it and stared at it for a few minutes.
and then walked away, and then came back. It took 3 of them to clean it.
Oh man!
But they did a good job.
They
Can't be
did.
the first
Cleaned it up
time
well.
they've dealt with a pile of puke, though.
No, there's rules, and I think it's probably different going into the U.S. versus coming out of the U.S. But in the U.S., if somebody pukes like that, like on the floor, they per CDC guidelines, they basically have to find that person and confirm that they're not sick. And if they're sick, they have to go through a process.
Oh, interesting.
So I think that's part of what the issue was. But
Frustration,
we're going
yeah.
into Qatar, and they're like, it's fine.
So we get to Qatar and everything gets better. One note is when you get off the airplane, it says if you're getting on another flight, go left, and if you're coming to Qatar, go right. Me and Marcus and one woman were the only people on the plane going to Qatar. And so that really opened my eyes, because on that flight, I was like, man, I had no idea, because everybody, I don't mean for this to sound, but everybody looked like they were from India or that part of the world.
Right.
And it turns out they might have been, because they weren't going to Qatar. And I was like, I really misjudged Qatar. Like, I didn't realize that it was so many different kinds of people. No, they were all going to India or Pakistan or something like that, because only 3 of us went to Qatar.
Yeah.
So then imagine getting through customs with 3 people. It was a breeze.
Oh yeah,
It's not too bad.
They basically waved us through. And it was really funny because, you walk through and there's one that's like things to declare, nothing to declare, but only the nothing to declare is open. And so we walk through, and then there's a bunch of security officers, and they look at me and they point. And so I like follow where they pointed. And I walk into the like something to declare, and the woman scans my bags and is like, okay. I was like, okay. And so I kind of go over to where like the scanners are, and the guy's like, no, go out, leave. It's like, oh, okay, sorry. All right, bye.
Were they fluent English?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There wasn't as much English. There was English where it needed to be,
Yes,
but not
I would
as
agree.
much. So then we catch an Uber. Uber works out great. Airport's well laid out. Signs, all the signs are in Arabic, but also have English. And so you just followed the sign to Uber, and we got an Uber, and it was there in 30 seconds. And then it takes us to our hotel, and it was kind of cool. Like driving to the hotel, there's so much lights and LED, and it's like Vegas.
Yeah.
And we're excited. Like after that flight, the big concern was getting there.
Yeah. Now you're there and ready for a sweet event.
Now we're there.
There was a big sign on the like LED sign on the side of this building that said, everything's going to be all right.
All right.
And I took a photo of it and I posted it. But the reason I say that is because we're going to come back to that.
Because later that was funny.
Later, that was very funny.
Hint, things were not all right.
Spoiler alert.
So we get to the hotel. It's nice. I'm a big shot at Marriott, so they roll out the red carpet and treat us really well.
Yeah.
It's midnight, but at home it's 9 a.m. So we were like, let's go get a drink, because, I mean, it felt like it did today at 9 a.m. You're not going to sleep.
Yeah.
So we went and got a drink. It's a lot like Utah. You have to order food to get a drink, and it's very regulated. So you can't but our hotel, and as we learned ahead of time, if you drink at your hotel or if you want to drink, that's the place, because if you go out, it's so regulated, it's difficult. And we later found out that was the case. So the next morning we got up, caught an Uber, went outside, hadn't been outside in a couple days.
Yeah.
And it was 85 degrees and sunny, very desert, very dry, beautiful town. Smoggy, there was some kind of haze, but I don't know if that's all the time or just when we were there. And we catch an Uber to the TV station, and we get to the TV station, and it's at that crazy World Cup stadium that you saw on TV for the last World Cup that was in Qatar, World Cup soccer.
And that stadium was huge.
Yeah, you could see it from 20 miles away. And then the first sign of things that just kind of caught me off was basically all the cables were still installed from the World Cup, but they had just been sitting in the sun. And we took a photo of these cable ramps that were all peeled up, completely jam-packed with SDI, which was also starting to peel up. It was like nobody rolled out after the World Cup.
Just
Yeah, it
abandoned.
was crazy.
Just abandoned.
Grab their laptops and left.
Everywhere.
50 amp cables that were 20 deep, just cars driving over them, just left. So our contact comes out and meets us. They got to scan your passports. Everywhere you go, they scan your passports to get into the TV station. And we go in there, and they said, let's meet up in the conference room, and why don't you guys plug your stuff in and plan to walk us through the graphics on the television. And
Which is not what we were there to do. We were there to install it for the broadcast.
for the broadcast, which was less than
Like in
20.
the engineering room and figure out how to sit in the gallery. And
Exactly.
So it's less than 24 hours away. And we pop up the first graphic, and the guy kind of curtly is like, that's wrong. And he spoke good English.
Yep.
And
who's
we're like,
this guy? This is
so he works at the TV station.
the TV station.
And then as we go through the graphics, there was a lot of overcritical stuff because it's just stuff that they had all seen, and all they had to do was send an email and say, fix this. And so I'm talking to Tom in Poland on Unity and can we fix this? Just like one simple thing, our scroll went right to left, but because they read in Arabic right to left, the scroll needs to go from left to right.
Yeah.
And I just said, Tom, can we fix this? He's like, done.
Yeah.
And
Like,
simple.
click a button.
And that was one I could see how they didn't notice because our proofs were static.
Yeah.
So we go all the way through. He complains about a bunch of stuff and he goes, now I'm going to bring the general manager in. He needs to see him. And at this point,
General manager of TV station.
Yeah. Correct.
Not like race.
and I had recommended we bring our client in because things seemed off the rails. And they said, we're the client. Your client is not the client.
How dare you say a word?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was like, don't talk. And so they bring the general, and I could go on more about that. There was a lot of pushback, and I was at no point did I show any frustration or anger, or I was just polite, bells on. So they bring in the general manager, and they have this conversation about our graphics in Arabic. And at the end of the conversation, and then so they're talking about our graphics, and then all of a sudden there's graphics up on the TV that I was like, I don't remember that one. Where did they get this one? And I realized they're going through another graphics package that isn't ours. And that's when I was like, uh-oh, what's happening? We get to the end of the thing, and the general manager people all walk out of the room.
Yeah.
And it's just back to us and one of our contacts. And at this point, the timer had shown up because we created an API for GPS and timing. And he goes, we won't need your graphics this weekend. Thanks for coming.
Yep.
We flew all the way to Qatar.
And he literally was like, no, they don't want to use it.
Wow.
And so at that point, I look over at Marcus. He kind of smirks. And we just kind of in synchronicity, we're like, okay, well,
All right. See ya.
we'll
Click,
pack
click,
up.
click, zip, zip.
And then our contact
so fast.
our contact was like, do you need me to walk you out? And I was impressed we figured it out, but we were like, no, we'll figure it out. And so we walked out, called an Uber. It was there almost immediate. Ubers come immediately there.
Yeah.
And picked
they're
us
fast.
up. And because of the problems we had with our plane tickets, we said, take us to the airport. But we didn't have our bags.
You're just like, this is going to be complicated. We got to get started.
Exactly.
Every chat going back to our flight, I was like, I have 15 hours. I'm going to fix this. And after chatting with the airline for 20 minutes, I gave up because it was like I was talking to AI, but I wasn't. I said, but it's not showing up in the app. And they're like, just load it into the app. And then I was like, it's not. And are you getting any errors? Yes. Here's a screenshot of the error. Log out, log in. Okay. And those are all good troubleshooting, but it never got beyond that.
Right.
And they were like, we don't show you have a flight home. So we went to the airport. Mm-hmm. It took a woman at the check-in, the customer service, over an hour to fix our flight. And here was the part that hurt. She's like, I can get you guys out in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And we were like, we don't have our bags. And she's like, why are you at the airport? This is for another day, ma'am. So she gets us on a flight at 8 a.m. And then our phone starts ringing.
Off the hook.
And the message is, the TV station is ready for you to install your equipment.
Whoa.
And we're like, yeah, they just kicked us out. And so we go back to the hotel. I type up an email to the customer, and it's not mean or rude. It's just, I'm sorry it didn't work out, but at this point, we're leaving. Like we had some issues going into this event. Like we never got a production doc. Like remember, we're doing graphics for a sporting event that's broadcast, we thought worldwide, and I'll go into that later. And we never got a production doc. The timer gave us everything we need, like start lists and things like that. We got headshots like the day before, so Tom had to work overtime to get all the headshots into the graphic. That's like a photo of a person that pops up with the graphic. And the graphics look good.
They looked great.
I would have given our graphics a B+. I didn't like the colors, but that was the colors of the event. And I would have given the graphics they ended up using like a C.
Yeah.
Like our graphics were definitely better. And
I think it's crazy they had graphics at all.
they never planned on using us.
Never planned on using
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some of the excuses they gave to go back were like, they're not high enough resolution. They were
correct me,
1080 50i and their graphics were 1080 50. I mean, they were the identical resolution. And I just so happened to ask AI, what's the difference between VizFlowX resolution and Viz Engine, which is the big, CNN uses. And it literally was like, you're an idiot.
It's the same.
So
1080 is 1080.
we got our flights fixed.
Yep.
Oh, I was back. I sent the customer an email. And then Mel called the customer. And we had told him in the email, the TV station said you weren't the customer and you didn't have anything to do with it. And I didn't talk to the customer after that. But Mel did. And they're like, well, they were mistaken and they want you to come back. I guess it was a technical misunderstanding. And
so it's like your first day in production and broadcast, and you don't know what.
It wasn't a technical misunderstanding.
No. Exactly.
The TV station never planned on using us. And then, unfortunately, it was a little too little, a little too late. The customer said, why don't you just stay and be our guests and come watch the race?
Wow.
And we'll pay. But we had already spent hours and hours and hours. Mel spent at least 10 hours on the phone with Qatar Airlines before this, just trying to get our flight home straightened out.
And what's our timeline for this day, by the way? Like if you originally met to install at the TV station at what you said, like 9 or 10 a.m.?
10 a.m., yep.
Like what time are you rolling into the airport?
We're rolling into the airport at noon.
Yeah.
So you weren't there more than an hour.
Yeah, hour and a half.
Yeah.
We were there.
Hour and a half of being insulted.
Insulted.
Yeah.
It was like,
let me let you
enough.
fly to halfway around the world so I can sit you down and insult you.
I think they were trying to, not the customer, but the TV station. I think they were trying to strong arm us to get us on our back foot, thinking that we didn't have any option other than to do whatever they said. Not knowing that how
You think they were bluffing?
I do. I think they were bluffing because they wanted to show, well, we don't respect you. We don't think you're good enough. Okay, I guess we can use you if the customer wants to. They weren't ready for me and Dave to be absolutely
click.
done with everything.
Okay, see you.
Yeah.
And some of the being ready to be done with everything was never getting a production doc, having to ask 10 times for every piece of information. It just got exhausting, and none of our customers were like that. And we just figured it was the first time, but then getting there and then basically firing us, an hour into our conversation.
Well, and it should be like a collaborative company. It's not like they're not writing the check to us.
Exactly.
At this point, who knows? But that was another reason for leaving. When these guys said we're the customer and they're not the customer, I realized we were never getting paid. And that's when we were like, let's just get out of here as soon as possible. And we had to buy new plane tickets to get home. Like we couldn't ever get our plane tickets fixed. So it was either wait till Monday morning and hopefully our original flight is good, even though we had no seat assignments or anything, or buy new tickets home. So we bought new tickets home. We went back to the hotel. We tried to go out to find a beer. But we didn't take our passports, and that's when we found out you have to have your passports to have a beer. And we don't even know if this place had beer because we couldn't get in.
Yeah.
And
it also looked way more upscale than I expected.
Yeah, it was called Boston's, and it was like authentic American cuisine.
Ooh,
and we weren't
exotic.
And we weren't looking for authentic American cuisine. We were looking for beer. So that didn't happen. So we went back to the hotel. We swam in the rooftop pool, so got like a 30-minute swim in, which was delightful. And then
How was the weather?
85.
80s.
Yeah, it was
swimming
nice.
was great. Like
It was indoor.
It was
pool.
indoor.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
cool.
Top floor, but it was indoors.
I thought when I think rooftop pool, I thought it was like outside.
It was like a greenhouse.
sick.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
sweet.
Oh.
So there was a lot more little tidbits, and I think we were both we were sad. It didn't feel right leaving, but at the same time, staying for nothing. F1 was in town, so we thought about just staying and doing the F1. But to be honest with you, we had a bad taste in our mouth, and not knowing if that flight on Monday was going to work out,
Yeah.
and knowing everybody from F1 was going to be leaving Monday morning too.
Ooh, yeah.
We decided to bounce. So then the next morning we went to the airport. The Qatar said, get there 3 hours before your flight. We did. That was like 2 hours too early.
Yeah. Yeah, because like the gate, so there's like two levels of security. There's the main security, and then there's a gate security. And and the gate security didn't open until an hour and a half before, 2 hours before the flight, maybe.
Yeah, like
So
an
we
hour
were
and a half.
way early. Yeah.
It's the most incredible airport ever. It's a gigantic, it's the biggest shopping mall I've ever been in.
Yep. Hands down.
The duty free, this is no exaggeration. You can duty free buy a McLaren.
Yeah. And they just have them there, and there's a person standing there ready for you to buy it.
And you just drive it off the.
No, I assume they ship it to you,
They'll ship it to you.
Whoa.
but it's duty free.
There was an Apple store. There was a Sony store. I did go in the Sony store to see if the pricing was discounted, and it was. A Sony A12 was $5,999, and I recently bought one for 10% more than that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't buy another one. I mean, there's so many little details.
I mean, we kind of have only told half of this story. I didn't talk about the fact that the guy on the flight there got up 20 plus times.
Yeah.
Or that he got up when food got delivered.
I mean, so your just the international part of the flight was like 14 to 15 hours.
Yep.
And then you have your little jumpers. I say little, but like to and from, your ports in the United States. I mean, that's a lot of hours. And we're talking like, I mean, how many hours were you on a plane versus, on
versus airports?
the ground?
yeah, I mean, it was probably 40 to 20.
Yeah. And I bet the whole experience of days of just getting there and then coming back, I bet that is like a story that long.
Oh man, yeah. And how little we slept. Like I know I had less than 10 hours of sleep over that whole window.
4-day period.
Yeah.
Like 10 hours total.
Yeah. Way less.
So we got to the airport too early, but the very small bright spot, besides I flew around the world in 3 days, is a guy in line. And when I mean in line, the only other person that got there 3 hours early. We met a guy that was he just immediately was like, "How was it? Was that not amazing?" And we were like, "Not really." And he thought we were there for the Doha Film Festival, as he was. And he was so inspiring. This is a gentleman named Mark.
Yep.
That
His last name
runs the Compton Museum.
Oh,
and
wow.
he's a creator. And I wouldn't call him a content creator, just like a creator of all stuff. And a whole separate story. Marcus got flagged by security for a couple hours over his snips. And I had coffee with this guy, Mark, and just so inspiring to see somebody that's so inspired by their work. And go check it out online. It's called the Compton Museum.
ComptonMuseum.org.
And I had a great time at the airport. Marcus spent the whole time trying to get through security. He tried to get him. Well, you
What'd
can
you
tell
do?
him.
First time flying?
So I have first time flying in Qatar. So I have a little tool bag in my backpack, and one of the things is snips, so that I don't, because you can't fly with a pocket knife, obviously, or like a multi-tool. So I have snips in there so that I always have it in my backpack for cutting zip ties, because we use zip ties everywhere. Well, they flagged it in Qatar because it's a sharp object. And so main security, he pulls it out and he's like, okay, these are fine, but you can't carry them through the airport. They're going to get flagged at secondary security at your gate. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your gate, bring one of the people back that's wearing a red jacket, and they'll escort it, and they'll give it to you on the other side of that security. I was like, okay, if it's just the snips, you can throw them away.
Yeah, you probably got them for free somewhere.
They were like $1.
Yeah.
Like they're so cheap. I'm like, if that's the issue, you can just throw those away. And if I had thought about it, I would have thrown away before I got to the airport.
$1. I steal those from the site guys.
Yeah. And it's like, he was like, no. We're not going to throw it away. It's fine. Just get them and bring back. But he didn't just take the snips. He took the whole little tool bag, which has like a screwdriver and a tape measure and my outlet tester. So stuff that I want, but like, man, I don't even know if I care enough to come back for this. But I also don't know if I'm flagged. Like, he took a picture of my passport with it. And I'm like, if I don't come back for this, is this like
can't get on the plane, sir.
Yeah, exactly. You abandoned something at security.
I would have left you.
And so I'm like, okay, fine. I'm just going to go straight there, get the guy in the red jacket, and come back. So I start walking. And this is when Dave breaks off, goes checks out the Sony store and stuff, and I'm just walking straight. It is, I am not kidding you, a mile walk.
It is. It's 1 mile. I had it on my watch.
Mile.
Through like downtown Las Vegas, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
But with Apple stores, not bars.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah,
And
I like
so-
how you're like flagged by the Department of Transportation of Qatar, and Dave's just like, Sony, McLaren.
Oh, man, I wish I could have gone shopping. It was awesome.
So they let you just go.
They were like, yeah, this is fine, but come back and get it with a person that can escort it through the next security checkpoint.
And why can't they just be like, hey, I've got a code 53. Can you send the guy with the red coat?
Yeah. No, it's a great question, Dylan.
Why isn't
Thanks.
there a guy with the red coat just hanging out there?
Yeah. You're in the
Why
wrong
can't
spot.
you
Yeah,
throw it
red
away?
coat.
Throw it away, please.
There's only one red coat.
God, please just throw it away. So
was he trying to be nice or like,
he was
no,
trying
I'm
to be
not?
nice.
Okay.
No, he was trying to be nice. He was like, no, I don't want to throw this away.
Everyone in Qatar was extremely nice, except the people at the TV station.
Yes, that is accurate.
Weird.
And so this guy is security, and he's nothing but nice. And he's like, no, we don't want to throw your things away. It's fine. You just have to escort it. So it's like, okay, well, he doesn't want to throw it away. So I'll go get the guy. So I get there, gate's not open. So we go have a coffee. When the gate opens, I go and I get a guy, and we have to walk all the way back. Now, there is a tram that I didn't see on the way there. So we took the tram after walking half a mile to get to the tram. So we only had to walk half a mile. Then we get there. He hands the bag. A new security guy. So the security guy's like,
And he's
"What
like,
is
"You
this?
are."
This is what you need?" I was like, "Yeah, that's it." And I was like, "If it's just the snips, we can just throw them away." And everybody's like, "No, it's fine. We'll just take it." And so the guy that's escorted me, we have a lovely conversation going through, and he's walking back. He's like, "No, so this is." It's not a big deal. We'll just check it. We'll throw it under. And it's like the size of a fanny pack, basically. Okay. So he's like, well, yeah, we'll just check it. It'll go under the plane. Not a big deal. It's like, you're going to check a fanny pack? All right, great. If I lose it, I don't care. At this point, I don't care.
Throw it all away.
Throw it all away. I can't tell you the number of times I was like, just throw it away. Just throw it away.
Take it. Take it to your kids.
So we walk all the way back the tram and then the half mile back to the gate. When we get to security and they're like, oh, this is too small. We can't check this.
You need to take it back to the first security.
This has to be inside of a bigger bag to check it. You need to check your backpack. Absolutely not. I'm not checking my backpack. It's got 3 laptops. It's got a Switch. It's got a Kindle. No, you're not. This is all electronics. I'm not checking this backpack. Well, do you have someone here you're traveling with? I do. Well, can you put your electronics in their backpack? No, I cannot. I'm not going to do that. I'm not checking the backpack. Well, then I don't know if there's a way we can get it. That's fine. Throw the entire thing away. Well, we can't throw it away. We have to take it back to the first security.
So legitimately, like, take it back.
They legitimately were like, we have to walk it all the way back. I was like, do I need to come with you? And they're like, no. It's like, okay, then to get rid of it. Sorry, I don't know if we need to bleep that. Get rid of it. I don't care. And they're like, no, we'll figure this. It's fine. We'll figure it out. And they wouldn't let me go. I'm not kidding you. I got back to the gate 30 minutes before boarding, and I had to stand there while they all had like a big mass huddle to figure out how they could possibly get this sorted. And I was like, I don't care. Throw it away. I don't care.
I'll pay you.
I don't need it. Just let me go to my flight. I don't care. And they're like, no, we don't want to. This is nice stuff. You don't want to get. I was like, I don't care. I couldn't care any less about any of the things in that. Throw my whole backpack away, please. Just let me go. And so they're like, the issue here is we don't know what inside of this was the problem at the other security. So we don't know what to throw away. And I was like, that's fine. Throw it all away. And they're like, no, we can't do that. So the security guy at secondary security goes and scans it. And he's like, I don't see anything in here that I would consider a problem.
perfect. Let me get it back and let me go.
And I was like, okay. And he's like, so I got to call main security and send somebody and so they can look at it. And I was like, it's like, so it's going to take like 30 minutes. And they're like, no, there's somebody closer by, but he doesn't speak English. So I don't, and we don't speak Arabic. So I don't know how to,
They didn't speak Arabic?
Yeah.
What do they speak?
Well, one of them was Kenyan. So that was the guy that had walked me back. So he spoke English really well. I'm sure they had some Arabic, but they were like, they weren't fully fluent, so that them and the security guard weren't able to have a full fluent conversation.
Right.
It was kind of a broken conversation. So he gets over there and they're like, yeah, we don't know why they sent this. I don't flag anything. And he's like, he looks through it and he's like, pulls out the snips and is like, okay, why'd you call me? Essentially, he's like, why did you guys call me over here?
And you're still in the background.
I'm still standing there. Just throw it away, guys. Throw it away. I don't care. Just throw it away. And the guy's like, he's like, so the main security guard looks at the secondary security guard and goes, so you're okay? He's like, I'm okay. And he's like, okay, then it's okay. And they're like, all right, here you go. Put it in your backpack and run it through security. And I was like, what is happening? Why did that take an hour and a half? Just throw it away.
So you kept it.
I kept it.
Yeah.
I've got it. It's in my backpack.
TV station called the airport. Like, there's going to be a white bearded man
Yeah, that's what it is.
coming through, and I need you to just give him a hard time.
It's funny that you say that. The one way we know that didn't happen is we intentionally did not tell them we were leaving the next morning.
We didn't tell anybody.
Like we didn't tell
That
anybody.
was smart.
Yeah, we made it like we were leaving on our original flight Monday, because I know this is conspiracy theory, but you never know.
Yeah.
I've never been there before, so you never know. So Marcus finally got through security after 2 hours. I had coffee with Mark from the Compton Museum.
Mark Bird.
Yeah.
Just looked it up.
He told me.
What's up, Mark?
He told me, he inspired me for 2 hours. And he was so impressed with our story that we weren't pissed. Well, Marcus was pissed at this point.
I was pissed at the security.
But he was like, man, how do you guys let that stuff roll off your shoulders? And we're like, and I told him, and I stand by this, our goal in our business is to find people we work for that can be friends and do things that we want to do. And he said, we need to collaborate. We need to get together. That attitude is what I want to work with in the future.
Super cool.
So we're going to Hollywood.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait.
Can't wait. The flight home was equally as bad, but one cool thing is we flew from DFW to Qatar, and that went east. And when we flew home from Qatar, we went east, northeast. So we circled the globe in 3 days.
Yeah. And
Which
got
was
to go
cool.
That's cool.
over Iran and Afghanistan and Moscow.
Yeah,
and the
because
North
it's not
Pole.
like a U.S. flight. So we flew over all these places where if we had to land,
we would have had to stay on the plane.
we would have had to stay on the plane.
Was it like daytime? Like, could you look out the windows and?
We
If
had
I'd had a window, I probably could have looked out.
We had like aisles, like we got better seats on the flight home because we specifically, when we bought new tickets, said, can we get better seats? But they weren't great. I had a baby in my lap for like an hour.
When he says in his lap, he means it.
Yeah. And I feel kind of bad, but after everything I went through, it was, there's some people out there that are going to hate me for this.
No.
It was
if anyone hates you, they don't understand.
It was a wife, an infant, and a husband. And he was like, do you mind switching seats? And I said, can I see your ticket? And this was without English, of course. And he shows me, and it's 39B. And the flight,
B is never good.
the seat I came out here on was 39C. So this was the assistant to the assistant guard. And I
in the
just,
middle.
I just
In the
politely
middle.
said, no, I can't. And then he asked the woman on the other side, and she like yelled at him. And again, it's not, but I could tell she said no and don't ask again.
Yeah.
And so then they basically were like, well, then you get a baby in your lap. And then about an hour into the flight, he got the person in 39C to swap seats, which was my seat on the way out there. And that guy didn't speak English either, but I wanted to be like, you are so lucky you're up here. The
You
middle
won.
seat you're in, sir, is the best seat in that place compared to that.
Man, it was so nice. Both of us were on the front row, so there was no seats in front of us. It was just like the bulkhead.
Yeah.
And the leg room, oh my gosh. And people could just get up and go around you to go to the bathroom. You
Oh,
didn't have to get up.
nice.
I
Was it the kind of
comparatively-
bulkhead that was next to the bathrooms though?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the bathroom,
Yeah.
but I couldn't have cared less. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was so much
To
better
have
on the way
room.
out
Was
there.
there just like a ton of congregating? Like, because on our
There's quite a
international
bit, yeah.
flight, that's like people just congregate by the bathroom.
Well,
Like just to do
I
their
kinda-
hourly stretches.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of stretching.
So, like,
there's
the-
more stretching on the way out than the way back. The guy on the way out that kept getting up and stretching, and then lost his hat and searched for it for an hour and a half
With a flashlight.
strobe light going. all
That
over
happened to me coming home from Spain, except it was an AirPod, and the dude was like, "Hey," like he was like picking up my foot. He's like, I'm like, dude, just
The guy next to Marcus on the way out there, to show you how bad he was, is when they brought the food, they set the trays down, and the minute they set Marcus's tray down, the guy's like, "I need to get up."
no.
Yes.
That's
It-
No.
and like with food.
The
so I had to,
minute
like,
they
move
set the food down, and then he didn't come back for 10 minutes. So Marcus is stuck there holding his food, waiting for this guy to come.
And the ticker's counting now for them to clean up, and you want to be
Yeah.
done eating by
Yeah.
the time they
It's
clean up because they're not
crazy.
coming back for a
Yeah.
while.
The food was very good.
Yep.
yeah. What was it?
They even
A lot of like there was curry chicken and like they had a butter chicken. They had like
Turkey
chicken and
and-
rice,
and
turkey
sweet potatoes
and
on the
sweet
way
potatoes
home.
on the way home on
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
that's a nice touch because I
know.
find that like when you're depends on where you're going, you get the food from where you're coming from.
Yeah. No,
So
they
that's a
had,
nice touch that they gave you turkey
It was like
dinner
turkey
from-
with gravy and sweet potatoes and like some roasted veggies.
Hot
which was
Pockets.
Awesome. Yeah, they had hot pockets. And they had this Christmas pudding. And
That
I
was
call it
really
Christmas
good.
because it had like green and red on top. Oh my God, it was so good.
The food was very good. Overall, the flights were fine. The ability to talk to somebody at Qatar Airways was next to impossible. And it was weird because I saw a commercial and it was like something like "Make it easy." I was like, that is not what you did to us.
Incorrect.
Have you seen your commercial, ma'am?
So we flew to Seattle, and we'll wrap this up. The last gift that kept on giving is we get to customs, and they're like, "What do you mean they didn't stamp the carnet?"
Yeah.
And so we had to spend like an extra 30 in customs. I'm not defending the Customs and Border Patrol because some of the things that are going on in our country are not right, but the people that we dealt with were over the top nice and very good at their job. And starting at Denver, when we had to get the carnet stamped, they were so amazed that we
Yeah.
were going to Qatar to do graphics. They go, "That's weird that they're flying you all the way out there just to do graphics." That might have been a red
That was
flag.
a red flag. Never heard of that before. I will say the funniest part of customs was the last guy we spoke to who stamped the carnet in Seattle was so funny because we were like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's fine." Like he was clearly, it's Thanksgiving and he didn't want to be there. He was in a terrible mood. And he was like, "So why were you guys there?" And we're like, "Yeah, we got fired. We're done." And it just like turned him around. He was like, "Oh my gosh, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard." Like it was hilarious going through the store. And he's like, "So they didn't stamp it?" And like, "No." He's like, "Yeah, a lot of places, if it's under 10,000, they don't care."
And he made me happy when he said, "Welcome home, boys. Happy Thanksgiving."
Yeah.
And that
Like,
kind of.
yeah.
So then we're in Seattle at the airport, and guess what they sell at the airport in Seattle?
Real beer.
IPAs.
IPAs.
Oh yeah.
And then we flew Alaska Airlines home from there, and we each opposite
Love Alaska.
25, 30 people on the whole flight. We have our own rows, and I fell asleep at the gate and woke up in the plane at the gate.
We were the last people on the flight too. Like we couldn't load that into the app, so we had an old gate number, and so we went to gate C17, and they're like, "No, it's in gate N. You got to go downstairs and
Yeah.
go on the tram." And we get there, and we're walking up, and they're like, "Hey, are y'all on this flight?" And we're like, "Yeah." It's like, "Okay, you're the last ones." And they closed the door behind us. The jet bridge, they turned the lights off as we were walking down it.
And we flew back to
We
Denver.
flew back to Denver.
And then we caught an Uber.
Yeah.
And I almost made it home. I made it to the office, and I couldn't go any further. And I just said, "I'm staying here tonight. Good night."
Happy Thanksgiving.
And happy Thanksgiving. And I woke up the next morning at the office. So we circumnavigated the globe in approximately 3 days.
Yep.
And what happens with the money, I don't know. Like financially, it's the worst thing that's happened to us in since we started this business.
Yeah.
We had a lot of money in hardware, and we had developed a new API to show GPS on 3D maps and stuff that we'll probably use again in the future for other customers. But
Totally.
would I go back to Qatar? Yeah, Qatar was great. Like Qatar
was
itself was great. I have some second thoughts about not staying for F1 because Qatar, everything is so high and tight. I'm sure F1 was high and tight. I really regret that we didn't go to the Doha Film Festival.
Yeah, that
because
would have been
No
awesome.
kidding.
This guy was so inspired. He said the stuff he saw and learned, like he's like, I can't wait to get home and apply some of the things I learned. And I stand by our mission, motto, whatever it is. We're just looking for customers that we could be friends with. And doesn't mean we have to be friends, but we could be friends. Like we see eye to eye on enough things that we could be friends and do things that are fun.
Yeah, totally.
Which I thought this fit.
Yeah.
And it was an adventure race. And we're intentionally not mentioning the name of the race because I don't really know how much the actual race organizers had to do with this complete disaster as opposed to the production company. And I will say this, it was so close because that's what we do is solve those problems, is that your production company is a piece of shit and you shouldn't use them because that comes out in the end.
Yeah.
That comes out in the broadcast. We've all worked with production companies that are bad attitude, and that just shows up on screen as opposed to. And then the weirdest last thing is Marcus sent me a link to watch the race on the flight home, and it looked great. It looked like they did a great job. I won't say anything negative about that. But then when we crossed into U.S. airspace, we were geo-blocked, and the whole idea of having us there was to provide this global reach. And you were so close from us saying, well, why don't we just send that to YouTube also?
Yeah.
And we'll geo-block it in the Middle East, but let people around the world see it. Because it was cool. Remember, it was swim.
It goes swim, run, kayak, run, shoot, bike, run.
Yeah.
which is insane.
It's insane. I'm sad I missed it.
Yeah, the only one I didn't get to see was shooting. I missed shooting because I was asleep.
Which is the coolest part.
Yeah, I really wanted to see what
That
it
and
was.
kayaking.
The kayaking was pretty cool.
Dude, we should make a race where people just shoot from the kayak. Ooh. Like in rapids. Like, let's go down to the Colorado River
man.
and send some people down with some guns and put our targets on the
Start putting
rocks.
the paddle like on the butt of the rifle. And
Yeah,
you just shoot, paddle, shoot.
So it's good to be home. Qatar was nice.
Yeah.
I think Qatar Airways could do better. We're still going to try to get our money for our original flight home back, but it's hopeless to talk to them. And everything they say takes 48 hours. That's why we went straight to the airport. We're like, we can't wait 48 hours. We have to figure out how to get home. So buying new tickets was like, you know, to spend that much more money. Although the woman that helped us originally told us the new tickets were going to be X. And I looked at Marcus because we had agreed on a budget, $5,000 to get out of Qatar. And so we also felt like we could have stayed, if we could have stayed for that amount of money and went to F1, and it would have been tight because our hotel went up to $700 a night. Jeez. And so, which we weren't planning to stay at our hotel the whole time because we were going to follow the race. And so we kind of then were without accommodations. And then she came back with the ticket prices, they had dropped by like 50%. So she had some sympathy, and I wish I knew her name.
Yeah, wow.
And everybody in Qatar, short of the TV station, were really nice. It's a great place. I would go back, maybe not to work this kind of event, but I would go back. I've been to the Middle East. I've circled the globe.
I think that my only recommendation would be if you're going, get like fly to Europe, then to Qatar.
So one of the flights home, I was like, here's what we can do. We can go to Greece for 2 days.
Yeah, that's what we should have done.
That's what you
And then fly direct to Denver. But we didn't. We got home. So that was it. This could have been a 3-hour, 3-part series. The number of things that happened on the airplane that we didn't talk about, and the number of things that just happened, period.
Yeah.
But big kudos to Mark and the Compton Museum for making my weekend worthwhile.
Yep.
Big kudos to Alaska Airways.
Yep.
Good big kudos to the clam chowder at the Seattle airport.
Yep. And the beer.
IPAs and the IPA.
The staff at the hotel.
Yeah, the staff at the hotel were all wonderful people. Yeah, I can't remember, but it was a Marriott, and as always, like
Marriott.
And because I travel so much. Oh, and last thing, and we got to go. The breakfast was just like Finland. More choices of things that I probably don't want to eat than you could count. Like if you go to a breakfast at a hotel in the States, there's like 10 things.
Yeah.
And here there was like 100.
Yeah.
And our hotel in Finland was like that. Like there was 50 kinds of cheeses.
Yeah.
And 50 kinds of meats, but some of the meats were sus.
And what was that? the like beetroot shot?
It was amazing.
Shot? It was really good.
Beetroot energy shot. And
yeah.
I wouldn't say it tasted like tequila, but it had that. Wow.
Yeah.
When you drink it.
I think it had like turmeric in it. So it's like that really bright, or ginger. That's what it was. It was ginger. And she was just like, woo, yeah. All right.
Get you in the gills.
And when we had that breakfast at the hotel, our trip was still on the rails.
Yes. Yeah. That was before we went to the TV station. So
anyway, it's the off season, or what we hope is the off season. Ryan and Corey are going to La Quinta, Ironman 70.3 La Quinta this weekend, which is, I've been there. It's a great race, great venue. It's like you leave here, it's really cold outside today, 10 degrees on the way to work, and then they're going to be in like mid 70s and sunny. It's Palm Springs, basically. And then after that is Ironman 70.3 Florida, but that's the end of the season. And at this point, I don't think I'm traveling anymore.
Yeah.
I hope.
Right.
I thought it'd still be in Qatar. We were supposed to get home at 10 p.m. tonight.
Today, yeah.
So
Jeez Louise.
everything happens for a reason. Don't forget that. And it's not always what's happening to you. And I learned this on a podcast, so this isn't mine. You look at it, this is happening for me to learn from. And I won't go into what I learned, but I will do better traditional business. Get your deposit, make sure everything's, it's okay to have a 10-page contract for a 1 week's worth of work, and that would have probably solved some problems in this case. And instead, we did what we do with a lot of our customers, which works with Ironman, Lifetime, and many, many more, is essentially do a lot verbally, like have a contract to back it up, but then sort out the smaller things like the production doc verbally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our song, like we stopped using AI, I told you that we started a band, is about traveling around the world in 3 days.
I took off with the stars in my eyes and whispered secrets to the skies. The moon said fly, the clouds reply. Wings of fire, heart of clay, crossing borders night and day. A shadow